Hello, and welcome to this deep dive into the real engine of our economy. You see, while everyone is talking about the IT sector and startup unicorns, the real Josh is happening in the core sectors. We're talking about the steel hidden inside India's urban boom. Boss, if you look at the skyline of any major city, be it Mumbai, NCR, or Bangalore, it is all changing at a Shinkansen speed. The government is pushing for a $1.4 trillion infrastructure pipeline. This is not some small-time jagad. This is a massive structural shift. For us investors, it is about identifying where the paisa is going to flow next. We are moving from a consumption-led story to an investment-led powerhouse, and steel is right at the center of this transformation. Let's understand how this metal is building our future.
Now, let's talk numbers, because in the dhanda of investing, numbers never lie. Currently, India's per capita steel consumption is just around 75-80 kg. Now compare that to the global average of over 220 kg. What does this tell you? It tells you there is a massive upside potential. As our middle class grows and people move into pakka houses, the demand for TMT bars and flat steel will skyrocket. We are looking at a huge gap that needs to be filled. If we even reach half of the global average, the volume growth for companies like Tata Steel or JSW will be paisa vasool for the long-term shareholders. This is the ground floor, and the elevator is just starting to move up.
The government is doing the needful to ensure this sector stays top-notch. With the PM Gati Shakti Master Plan, they are integrating all transport modes, railways, highways, and ports. All this needs heavy-duty steel. Plus, the Production-Linked Incentive, or PLI scheme, for specialty steel is a total game-changer. It is incentivizing our local players to make high-grade steel that we used to import from Japan or Korea. This means our domestic mall is getting better and more profitable. For a strategic investor, this Sarkari support provides a solid safety net. It's a 100% boost to the margins of our domestic giants.
Coming to the real estate kahani, have you seen the pre-launch bookings lately? People are buying flats like hotcakes. Whether it is affordable housing or ultra-luxury apartments in Gurgaon, steel is the silent partner. The RERA regulations have cleaned up the system, making it safer for buyers and developers alike. We are seeing a massive cycle of residential construction. In the next decade, India will need to build millions of homes. This is not just vague talk. The data shows a 15–20% year-on-year growth in steel consumption within the construction vertical. If the housing market is tight, the steel market is bright. Listen, the old way of making steel was very dirty, but the new age is all about green steel. Indian companies are now shifting to scrap-based electric arc furnaces in hydrogen-ready technologies. Why does this matter to you as an investor? Because of ESG. Global funds only want to put their petty in companies that are environmentally conscious. Our steel majors are committing to net zero targets by 2045-2050. This transition will require heavy capex, but it ensures that these companies don't get out of fashion in the global markets. Being eco-friendly is no longer a choice. It's a must for survival.
Now, let's be pakka about the risks. Steel is a cyclical dhanda. Prices are influenced by what is happening in China and the LME. If China dumps cheap steel, our margins get squeezed. But here is the catch. The Indian government is very proactive with anti-dumping duties. Also, our domestic cost of iron ore is among the lowest in the world. So even when global prices are thonda, our local players can maintain a decent EBITDA per ton. You have to look at the PE ratios and ensure you are not buying at the absolute peak of the cycle. Buying when the mood is slightly cautious can give you the best entry point.
If you are looking for where to park your capital, the big three are Tata Steel, JSW Steel, and the public sector giant, SAIL. Tata is going big on Europe restructuring and Indian expansion. JSW is the efficiency king, always adding capacity ahead of time. And SAIL? It's the oldest gold play with massive land banks and captive mines. Don't forget the mid-cap players like Jindal Stainless, which are dominating the niche markets. My advice? Don't put all your unday in one basket. Diversify across these majors to capture the full breadth of the Indian urban boom. Do your homework and check their debt-to-equity ratios before jumping in. So friends, the final funda is this. India's growth is written in steel. As we move towards a 5 trillion and then a 10 trillion economy, the requirement for this metal will be unlimited. For a smart investor, the current volatility is just a minor speed breaker in a very long highway. Keep a 5 to 10-year horizon, and you will see your wealth compound like anything. Stay focused, keep tracking the quarterly results, and remember, infrastructure is the bun and steel is the patty of the Indian economic burger. Thank you for watching, and keep your investments solid like steel. Cheers!